7 on the dot. So I'm going to turn you all around so you can see the screen. Give me just a second. Let me know if you guys can see the whole screen. So for me, when I turn it around, it like cuts off part of the screen, and I don't know why. Might have to back you guys up a little bit, which literally means backing up my dining room table. There, that should be there. Because I think Facebook Live is only supposed to be in portrait instead of landscape, which is really annoying. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go over some housekeeping. First, oops, see, I'm losing my phone again. I don't know why it does that. Sorry, guys. So I am not an accountant, and I am not an attorney. And I do not own the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet was created by whoever Sarah's Dreamers are. They own the licensing for it. If it's licensed, I don't know. But I don't own it. And I'm not an attorney or a tax professional. So if you have specific tax questions, you'll have to go to an attorney for that. I can't help you with that. Second thing, so I had asked you guys about Excel versus Google Sheets. So I'm going to show you how to use this in Google Sheets. If you use Excel, it's pretty much the same thing, except for you will, oh, that's good to know, Tasha. I've never done it, met her or seen anything by her. So if you use Excel, it's just like Google Sheets, except for you have more options. Google Sheets is kind of like the bare minimum of what you can do. So if you don't know what you want to use, if you have Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office, I would say using Excel is great if you know how to use Excel. If you need something that's really user-friendly, Google Sheets is really great. The added benefits of using Google Sheets is it's stored in your Google Drive, which means that you can access it from any device, your phone, your tablet, your computer, and you can share it with others really easily. Obviously, I have you guys go to the link so you can see this, so it makes it super simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be changing this Google Sheet as we talk, so you will see the changes in real time if you want to follow me on the Google Sheet, which is pretty cool. So if it's kind of hard to see my screen, you can always have that as an option. Alright, so we've talked about the disclaimers. I'm going to go to the instructions. So they were really cool, and they labeled all of, let's see if I can make this a little bigger. Control minus, there we go. Oops, that's too small. There we go. So they, oh Jesus, I don't know why, for some reason my phone stand does not like my metal garbage can. What a thought. Thinks I'm ghetto. So the lady who came up with this was really cool and gave an instructions tab, which was really helpful for me. This will be good for you ladies to go back and look upon when you are done watching this video and just need a quick refresher. Really important. This is like super important. Write this down in like big block letters. If any cell is in light purple, do not type in it. Do not type in any cell that is light purple. This is because those cells have formulas in them, and if you type in a cell that has light purple, you will break the formula. If you break the formula, don't worry, you can email me or message me and I'll fix it for you. But just for your own sanity, do not do that. Anything that is in a green formula, a green cell, I'm sorry, Megan, I don't know. Is anybody else having a black screen issue? I will say, Megan, I was saying that you can go into the Google document and you can see what I'm doing in real time, because I'm going to be working inside the Google document. So even if you can't watch what I'm saying right now, or watch the screen, if you go into Google, it will actually, if you go into the Google document, it'll actually appear on your screen, which is kind of cool. So anyways, if it's in a green column, feel free to change it. I mean, anything in the green column is fair game. If there isn't a green column in the tab, it's just white and purple. You can change anything that's white as well. All right, so anyway, so this is the instructions. This tells you exactly what is in each tab and what each tab does. I'm kind of going to go over that for you anyway, but just in case you need a refresher, that's that. If we scroll over to the side of this one, but not too far, goodness, we can see all of the styles and the wholesale with the 5% off. I do not recommend, and the Audrey retail price. I do not recommend touching this one either. So what this does is, this is what a lot of everything in the spreadsheet is based off of. So if you change something in here, it will change something in your spreadsheet. So like but this is important because if we do want to change it if prices change. So let's say let's see, what's a good example? Let's say that the Gracie tea, right? The Audrey retail and the Gracie tea goes up to $30. Change it here. What that will do is in the rest of your spreadsheet, it will update it. So everywhere else, it will let you know that the retail for the Gracie tea is $30. If you want to change the wholesale price, so let's say the wholesale becomes more expensive for us. So the Gracie tea, instead of being $15 for us, is now $16 for us. If you click on that cell, it will open up the formula in the, which I don't know if you guys can see, in the top left here, it's EOC, it says equal 15 times 0.95. You can actually change that here. So if we know that it's going to go up to $16, we can just change that to $16, theoretically, and it should update for us, which for some reason it's not. Oh, it might be because I'm in the clean one, which means this is the one I'm not supposed to be like changing. My control Z this. Anyways, there it goes, showing back up. So that just lets you know. So if you need to change the wholesale price, you have to actually open up the formula. You cannot write over it. But if Audrey does change, the retail for Audrey changes, you can just write over that. Also, payment methods. So you can change these cells. So if the credit card fee goes up in Audrey, you can change it. If the Square fee goes up, so like right now for processing a credit card in Square, it's 2.75%, you can change that. So this is just kind of where you can make sure. No, Wendy, it will not mess up the previous, well, yes, it would mess up the previous data because it does change everything. So you can, I'll kind of show you though, it is good because, yeah, I'll get to it later when we talk about like the monthly sales and stuff. But you're right, it will change up data that you had previously entered. So that's all for the instructions tab. We're going to move over to basic information, which is the third tab. This is, again, you can change anything in a green cell, but do not change anything in a purple cell. This is where you're going to put stuff like your company name, which for me is LuLaRoe Marissa Locke. And you'll want to update this stuff because, again, this will update stuff in the spreadsheet later on. Make sure you enter in things like your start date, how much your initial investment was, and how many items you purchased in your initial inventory. Do not worry about these. We're not going to update these. You can, however, when 2016 is at a year end, you'll want to update these to say 2016. So that's basic information. I'm just going to put in some random information here so you can kind of see how that information works with one another. We're going to put $5,000, not $50,000. I'm not that rich. Quantity purchased, 350 pieces. So that way you guys can kind of see how it interacts with each other later. Party manager. So I know, yes, you can be able to watch this later. It will automatically post. Don't worry. Take care of your toddlers. Right now I have a screaming baby. I don't know if you guys can hear him because my husband's upstairs with them. Party manager. So I know somebody had asked me about this earlier. I don't know if it was you, Megan, or if it was somebody else. I can't remember now. this is the tab, or this is the tab you're going to use while you're at a party. So if you can do this for online parties, or you can use this for your in-homes, it doesn't matter. Essentially what you're going to be doing is filling out the boxes. So if we have, Wendy, I'm just going to borrow you. So if Wendy buys something from us, there we go, not leisure. There we go, Wendy Wagner. We're going to pretend, and we're going to put in her pretend email. And she's going to buy a maxi from me. Hey, thanks, Wendy. It's important when you guys enter in the style names, how'd that get down here? That you file or you follow the style name guide down here. The reason why is because you'll notice when I entered in the style, it automatically filled out the wholesale, the retail, the Audrey discount, and the profit. Okay, do you guys see that? So when you fill in the style name, it will automatically fill out, yeah, thanks, Wendy. It'll automatically fill out this information. Do not change anything that is in a purple box or this blue box. Do not change those. But it's really important that you use those style names. Style names right there off to the right. I realize leggings is just leggings. If you want to denote whether it was one size or if it was tall and curvy, all you have to do is right click and then you will find insert comment and you can put OS. And then it won't change the amounts, you know, nothing changed here, but you can hover and look at it and say, oh, this is an OS. Or you can put leggings here and then there's a size category as well, and none of that changes. So I'm just gonna clear that. So then we can say this was a small maxi because Wendy's super tiny, not size small, and she bought a black and white polka dot. And then we're going to enter in the sales price. So if you're at a party and in home and you have a special going on Maxis, like let's say the retail for Maxi is $42 and you have a special where there's $35, your customers are going to love you. It lets you know that you gave them a discount of $7 here in the Audrey discount box. It also tells you what your profit is. So now we know that because we discounted Wendy's maxi skirt because she's small and we love her, and we only charged her $35 at home, that we made $15.05 off of it. The next box is over here. Let me move my thing over. Here we go. Lets us know the totals for our party. So Wendy bought, you know, a maxi, and then she bought some one size leggings, and then she also bought an Amelia in a small, because again she's super tiny. So, and then let's go ahead and update how much we charged her for them. 65. So you'll notice over here that these boxes are changing. So now we know we've made we've sold $125 worth of product. We have profited $65.63. Profit margin, this tells us what our profit margin is, 53% on these sales. So based off of wholesale divided by retail, we're making 53% profit. And then it gives us our total discounts and our items sold. You may notice this free items box. So what that does is it will let us know. We're just gonna do a whole bunch of Amelia's. Wendy really liked Amelia's. Oops. Helps if I can spell. Thanks, Wendy. Look at what you've done for my profit. Sorry, don't worry about the weird things I'm doing over here. I'm just trying to show you as an example. So now we've hit 11 items sold, and it will tell you your hostess is getting one free item. This is useful for those who are doing buy 10, get one free. But this is also useful for those who are doing, you know, buy 10, get $35, because then you can know your hostess has one reward. So don't just think about it as free items, but think about it as whatever. Gosh, Wendy, you need to slow your roll. Almost $700 there, honey. But then it lets us know what our hostess rewards are. And also, again, so all of this will update. Once you are done with the party, so this is all filled out, you're done with your party at the end of the night, what you can do is you can actually take this spreadsheet here and not the blue, do not do profit, but you can highlight everything from customer name to Audrey discount, highlight that all. You can do Control C for copy on the keyboard, or you can just right click copy. My husband's being a creeper behind me. And you can go to the sales tab. The sales tab is your running total. So we're just gonna go ahead and paste that over here, and you'll notice it transfers all of that information, and we see it over here. So, somebody had asked me earlier about what if we want to keep track for our hostesses what their rewards are, and if we wanted to keep additional, like one tab for each party. So you can do one of two things. You can either right click Party Manager and say copy. Is that what I want to do? No. Sorry, I thought about this earlier and now I can't remember what I did. Oh, duplicate. There we go. You'll hit duplicate, which now my computer is thinking about it. There we go. And then you'll see copy of Party Manager down here. And so it's a direct copy of the other one. And then we can go ahead and right click and hit rename, and we can say this was the 4/2016. And we'll know that this was our party for 4/2016. And then with the Party Manager, we'll just go back and we'll delete. Yeah, so just hit delete. Don't hit backspace, hit delete, because when you hit delete, it will should fix it. So when I do maxi, crap. I'm sorry. So only delete white boxes. If you delete the purple boxes, it will delete your formulas, and we don't want that. You don't delete formulas. And then you can start over again. So that's one way to track the parties. The other way is you can just do it in the sales area if you want, just by creating another, sorry, my husband just left the kid and the dog. Just by creating another tab, you can just insert one to the left and just put something like notes here, and then you can say, you know, this was Wendy's party and she got one free item, or however you want to do it. So there's a couple different ways. It just depends on whatever works best for you. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions before I move on? I know that was a lot of information in like a tiny span. I'm going to give it a second because I know there's a 20-second delay. Also, I'd like to point out, like, 30 of you are slackers. 30 of you said you were going to come watch this, and I only have 15. Oh, bacon, good. I'm glad. And that made sense to you. I'm happy. Anyway, so when you look at your full sales tab, you'll notice over here in the right section, it will keep a running log. So you will know what your total, profits were, what your total sales were. There's a section to add fees. When you go to pay, once you move party info into sales, can you just delete? Yes, delete the party info if you want to. Absolutely. Just make sure you only delete the white boxes. Do not delete the purple boxes, because then you will ruin the formula, okay? Let's see. Adding a second name where? Like if I wanted to say a second person purchased, Casey May, can you explain that? What your question is? I just want to make sure I understand your question. Like, do you mean like this sheet down here that I created, the 420 sheet? Is that what you want to know? Like how to rename that? Or how to add the second tab? If you mean renaming the tab, all you do is you right click the tab and you'll notice that there's an option to rename, and you just click that and you'll notice it. First box down. Oh, okay. That's easy. So yeah, you just would, so obviously I just pretended that Wendy bought all this, but then I can say, hey, Casey was also at her party. And we'll put in fake email. Hey guys, that was exciting. Ooh, I don't know why it keeps doing that to me. I mean, it's a sticky thing that I can like barely peel off, and yet it keeps falling. All right, now that you all are awake, there we go. So yeah, so then we're gonna say that Casey, or yeah, you bought a Gracie. Oh, here's something good to know. Apparently I did not update this to say Gracie's. We're gonna go with leggings. So then, there you go. So then here's Casey, and she bought some leggings, and then it updates all this information, and then we just fill it out. Is that what you wanted to know, Casey? And then you can just keep doing that. I mean, there's no end to this in terms of how many names and emails, because it goes and goes. So if you have, 100 people at your party that I'll purchase, awesome. Argument for or against keeping individual party sales and easier to the sales as party. That's up to you, Wendy. For me, I don't see the reason to keep individual parties unless you just really want to know at a quick glance what each hostess did. Because then you can go back and be like, oh, my 420 party with Wendy was great. She sold $640. I might just hit her up again for another party versus going into the sales tab and just giving this just gives you an overview. It doesn't tell you about each particular hostess. So, I mean, with the other way, you can go back and be like, man, Wendy's my girl. She's got me. When I do a party with her, I'm making bank. Versus, man, if I do a party with Yolanda, I don't know if we have Yolanda in the group. I'm sorry if we do. She didn't host very well. She didn't try to, get any girls at her party. I'm probably not going to go with her again. But Wendy, she's my girl. So that's just, it's up to you. I don't think that there is a negative or a positive. It's just how you feel is best for you. So we're going to skip over, for those who are just paying attention in the spreadsheet, we're going to skip over the P&L balance sheet first, and we'll get back to that. That's right, Wendy. It was all those brownies you were serving at that party. So we're going to skip over to inventory year end. It is vitally important that you keep an inventory at all times. The IRS, this is kind of cool that she tells you, the IRS will not deduct your unsold inventory. They only do the cost of goods after the item is sold. But it's important for you to know what your inventory is at the end of the year. So this, you don't have to do anything with it. That's the nice part. I was really kind to you guys, and I made sure that everything worked together. This, it will just keep a running total. So this is just an overview. You can just pop into this one, look at it, and be like, awesome, I know exactly how many total Lolas I have, and I know exactly the dollar amount that I have, or the total quantity of all items, or the total value of all items. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to inventory by size, and I'll show you how those two things work together. So this was not originally in the spreadsheet. It was kind of different, and then I updated it in a way that I felt made sense to me. So that way I can have a complete inventory, because I'm OCD. So you can fill out all of these except for the purple and the blue. Do not fill out the purple or the blue, but you can fill out all this. So if we know we have 4 extra small maxis, 6 extra small, you know, we'll just fill in, random numbers, not random letters. You can't have our number of maxis. So this will tell you we have 31 maxis on hand. We know that. Or we can go over here to the leggings and say we have 25 TC and we have 4 those ones, or we have, you know, well, that's, if you have 3,000 Randys, we need to come talk because I'm jelly. So you'll fill this out. I recommend after every party updating this information, because then you'll know exactly what you have in your inventory after you sold it. So you just deduct. So if we're at a party, we're at Wendy's party, right? And how many Amelias she bought? She bought like 7 size small Amelias. So we would just come in here and be like, oh, we know Wendy bought 7 size small Amelias because she's balling. So we're just gonna take that out. And so then we know we don't have any size small Amelias left because Wendy clears out. Then what you'll do is if you go back to the inventory year end, it will tell you exactly what you have in stock. We have 31 maxis. Those have a wholesale value of $618 to us. We have 18 Randys on hand. When it comes to the inventory, you will just update the same sheet. There's some more spreadsheets down further that are month by month. These ones you will just update every day or after every sale or however you want to do it, Casey. So yeah, so then you'll see these. You'll notice the leggings, okay? I know that we talked about this. For whatever reason, they didn't want to differentiate between one size and TC, but I did that here. So you'll notice I have a little comment. So when you hover over the leggings, it will tell you the top ones are one size, the bottom ones are tall and curvy. So that way when you're looking at this, you know that you have 25 TC, but you don't have any one size. All right, and then up here, you'll see you have 78 items on hand. You have $1,100 worth of wholesale amount of merchandise on hand. So that's how that works. So let's go to shipping. This will track your shipping. Do not do one by one. So if you have an online party and you sell 100 items, please, dear God, do not make 100 entries. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to put in the date. So today's date. We're going to pretend that Wendy's party was online, and we're not going to do free shipping. We're going to say that there was $50 worth of shipping paid. That means total. So for the whole party, everyone total paid $50 worth of shipping. So Wendy paid her shipping, Casey paid her shipping, Yolanda paid her shipping, $50 total. And then we're going to put in what it costs to us. So if I shipped all those items and it actually cost me $45 because I'm using Shipping Easy or stamps and I can save a little money, then I'm going to put in the total actual cost to me. So for everyone's shipping, what the total cost to me was. And then it'll give us a profit. So let us know, hey, look at that. We saved $5 on shipping, so we made $5 off of that. And then we might put a note saying that this was Wendy's party, right? And then we know, and that's just for you. It doesn't matter what you put in there. It's just whatever you want for yourself. And then if you notice over here, again, this gives us the total. So we know from the whole time that we've been here, from start to finish, we've had $50 worth of shipping paid by customers. From start to finish, the whole time we've been tracking, we have $45 that we paid to the USPS. And then we made $5. Whoo, $5. If you provide free shipping, you will just enter 0 under shipping cost. So if they didn't pay anything, it's just a 0. And then in the shipping cost, we're going to enter our actual, shipping paid by customer will be $0 because they didn't pay anything. And then we'll put in the actual shipping that we paid. It's important to do this because that is a write-off. You can use it for marketing. You'll just have to make sure that you put it in the business expense area later. That's only if you do free shipping. Any questions about shipping? I don't want to feel like I probably go really fast. I know I talk really fast, so I don't want to overwhelm you ladies a little too much. Give you guys a little bit to, I don't see it in real time. That's the only thing that sucks about Facebook Live is you guys can comment and it's like 15 seconds later, I'm like, oh, Casey said something to me. No? No? All right, I'll come back to it if something pops up. Donations. Donations are great. Everyone should donate because it's the nice thing to do. So this is pretty self-explanatory. You just put in who you gave it to, so your nonprofit recipient, what the donation amount was, the date, and any notes. So if, you know, I did a fundraiser pop-up for King County CASA, then I'm going to put in, you know, that I did one for the King County CASA. Donation amount. So my fundraiser pop-up, I gave them 20% of everything, of my profit. So on that day, I was able to donate $200. And then that was on 4/19. And, you know, whatever notes, like sold 40 pieces or something. I don't even know if that's how you spell pieces. Over on the right side, it will give you a running total. So you'll know exactly how much you've donated for the year. Donations are not expenses, and so they won't reduce your taxable income. Instead, they give you a deduction. So once your taxable income comes out, then it will deduct from that, which is kind of cool. And what's also neat is if you want to adjust this, like obviously if you keep a running total, it's probably going to be in date order. But let's say you wanted to do it by nonprofit recipient. You can actually write, there's a little drop down arrow here. You can click that. Sorry, I think I might sneeze. And then sort A to Z. And then you can look, like if you did 5 different donations to King County CASA, it will actually show up in alphabetical order. So you can actually look at how much you donated to a particular cause. I'm sorry, I wasn't even on the little thing when I explained that. So little arrow here, it says sort A to Z or Z to A. Yeah, so then you can look at particular people that you donated to, or if you want to see like who you donated the most to, you can sort A to Z and it'll do it that way. It's just a nice little way to reflect on what you've done. Now we're going to move over to mileage. I know a lot of you ladies were interested in the mileage. You'll notice up here it says 2016 cents per mile. This changes every single year. The IRS changes this every year. It was actually 56 cents last year, but they dropped it down to 54 cents. We make less cents per mile. Lame.
Gas costs less.
Yeah, it's because gas costs less. So this you'll want to update every year. So once IRS comes out with their new dollar amount, just update it real fast to whatever it is, and make sure it's in like point whatever, not just 56, because then it'll be $56, which means it would be ballin'. So this is pretty self-explanatory too. You'll just put in the date that you did the drive, where you started at, where you ended at. So if I'm going to a pop-up at Wendy's, I'll say I started at my home, or you can put in the address. Ending location, put in the address, or put in the location. I could just put Wendy's home. The total number of miles, if you had to pay a toll, like if you went across the turnpike or toll bridge, and then any notes about that. So we're just going to do an example on 420. I started at home. I went to Wendy's pop-up. Total miles was 15, and I had to pay a $2 toll. This will tell you, this will automatically do the calculations for you. So you will be able to deduct $8.10 for the mileage. And then for the notes, whatever notes you feel is appropriate or you need. If you look over on the right side of the screen, it will go ahead and give us the running totals. So we're going to be able to deduct $8. We're going to be able to deduct $2 from the tolls. So our total transportation expense was $10 for mileage. There's that. Pretty simple. Business expenses. All right. Let me grab my notes for this. Oh, a note on the donations. This is not giveaways. Do not put your giveaways in there. Unless, like, you can put it if it's a donation giveaway. So if you donated 10 pairs of leggings to go into a raffle, that counts. But you would put the dollar amount. Yeah.
I thought it has to be to a charitable with like a charity.
Sorry, my husband's talking to me.
Destination.
Yeah, so if the raffle, if you donate 10 pairs of leggings to a raffle that benefits the Breast Cancer Foundation, then you can deduct the wholesale amount for that.
Okay.
Because those leggings are going directly to the charity to benefit the charity. Sorry, I don't know if you guys heard me yelling at my husband and understood that. Anyways, mileage. Business expenses. All right, so business expenses are really important. This is how you change the dollar amount that you'll be taxed upon. The lower the dollar amount is, the better it is for you. So you want to track every single thing that you have an expenditure on. Business expenses is not your supplies though. So this is not papers, or printer paper. This is not ink. Yeah, you'll want to note that you, when you go back to the party manager, or we'll go into the sale one because this has everything. So this is Wendy's sale, right? And Wendy got, she's just loving these Amelias. So Wendy got a free Amelia. You will just put the sales price as 0 because she didn't pay anything for that Amelia. That way it still tracks, so you still know what your total profit was, and the total number of items that were purchased at that time, but you will also know that that's a free item, if that makes sense. So business expenses. Track everything that you spend money on. Everything. Yes, Wendy's correct. If you donate something to a charitable organization, they will give you a gift receipt. No, hangers, mannequins, racks, those are supplies. If it can be consumed, as in you use it and then it's gone, or you use it, those are all supplies. A business expense is something like your business license is a business expense. Any interest that you pay on your credit card. So if you use your credit card for your initial purchase, your initial inventory, every time you pay interest on that card every month, that is a business expense. Your insurance premium is a business expense. If you pay for expedited shipping from LuLaRoe, that is a business expense.
Your house.
That's separate, baby. Hold on. This is also your travel expenses. Hey, look at that. Wendy is the girl to go to when it comes to donations. Travel expenses. For your convention ticket, business expense. Your airfare flight to convention, business expense. Your meals. This is no joke, guys. When you eat dinner at convention, that is a business expense because you're doing it for your business. If you take a customer out for coffee, that is a business expense. Absolutely track everything. If it has anything to do with LuLaRoe, put it on business expenses. The nice thing about this is when you go to your accountant at the end of the year and he looks over this spreadsheet, he can then deduct, he can take things out, right? So if you put something and he's like, you know what, I don't really know that we can get away with it, fine, he'll take it out. But he cannot put things in for you. So put it all in because at the worst, you might get some things taken out. Also tax prep fees, so when you go to your accountant to have him look over your spreadsheet to do your taxes, those fees are a business expense. This is the nice, these are all the loopholes that giant corporations get. So we need to make sure we take advantage of them at small businesses. Oops, and I'm losing you guys again. I need to figure this out. This is actually good for me to know. So we're gonna, the categories are up to you. So I'm just gonna put travel, oops. I'm gonna put travel in the wrong spot apparently. No. There we go. I'm gonna put travel, and I'm gonna say we went to Alaska was the airline, and my tickets cost me $222, and I'm gonna travel on, or I made that purchase on 5/10, and then I'm just gonna put airfare to convention. It is important to put detailed notes so that way when your accountant goes through, they can look at these and decide whether or not it can be deducted or, yeah, can be considered an expense. And then over here, you'll notice on the right side, it will give you a running total of what your expenditure was. Of course, you can also, just like in the last sheet, you can change the sort order. So if you want to be able to sort A to Z, you can be able to easily look at all of your travel expenses in one area, or you can look at all of your interest charges or whatever your categories are. The categories are up to you. There's nothing on there. There's nothing specific that you have to put. If you have more questions about what you can deduct, you can do a really quick Google search. A lot of them will have small business deductions, or they'll have, or you can just go talk to your accountant. Any more questions about this? Nope. Okay. Again, if a question pops up, I'll come back to it. So we're going to go to supply expenses, which is the next tab over. So, Mackenzie, this is where you're going to put your things like your hangers, your mannequins, your racks. Ooh, this is my phone. God, this is going to be like going up on our group, and girls like in the future are going to be like, what is wrong with this woman? Like, she did this video and she totally was not professional. This is what they want us to use. Anyways, so this is where you're going to put your hangers, your mannequins, your racks, your business cards, your anything and everything that's considered a supply. So if you're going to order it to use it for your business, it's going to go here. This also could be banners, it could be shopping bags, anything like that that you would use to support your business. Marketing materials. Oh, this is where you're going to put your, I believe this is where you put your giveaways too. Yeah, because giveaways count. Sorry, I'm on supply expenses, Megan. I know this isn't like perfect, and of course now it's getting dark.
Can we turn the light on?
Yeah, if you would, baby. So this is also where you're gonna put your giveaways. So that way you can track them, because giveaways count as marketing materials. So if you give away a pair of leggings, that's a marketing material. You'll put down the retail price of that. So you'll put down the $25 for those free pair of leggings that you gave out. Does anybody have questions about the supplies? Again, you're just going to fill these out. So let's say I ordered my business cards from LuLaRoe. They're my vendor. I'm going to put business cards.
Oh, here.
Yeah, I'm having this issue. I don't know why. Purchase price, they were, I don't know, $42. Not $2. These are hella cheap business cards. For 13. And then whatever notes you want to put, it doesn't matter. Again, you'll get the total supply costs up here. And then you can just keep running track.
You want to try something with glass on it?
Yeah. Hold on, give me a second, guys. I'm going to try to fix this issue so you don't keep falling.
Do it the other way. There you go.
Just don't want them to see the, because they can see the, there we go. No, Tasha, this is not where you're going to put the stuff. That's going to go under the party tab because that's something that occurs during a party. And then, well, technically, so that counts as a giveaway, so you can put it in here. But you also want to track it in your actual party. So if you go back to the party tab, where we put, you know, Wendy got a free Amelia here, we want to make sure that we track it because that comes from our parties. But then we can also go to your supply expenses and just put, I would just put something like giveaway, and then, it must have hit caps lock, leggings, it was $25. And then like I said, and then we can just put hostess reward. Again, just track everything, because the more you track, it's easier to deduct. It's easier for your accountant to come back and say, nah, we're not going to put this here. We're going to put it somewhere else. Promotional pair leggings in here. Does it deduct from your inventory? Yes, deduct it from your inventory. Wait, promotional pair. Like a promotional pair as in something LuLaRoe gave you, so you didn't purchase it, or a promotional pair as in you're promoting your business, so you're giving a pair of leggings away. If that is true, if you're giving a pair of leggings away, deduct it from your inventory because you don't have it anymore. So you want to be able to know exactly what you have. So you're always going to want to deduct from your inventory. Let's see. It's okay, Casey. Put what you sold in your party tab. Does it automatically update? No, it does not automatically update the inventory tab. The reason why that is because it is constantly changing. It would take a lot of effort on my part to try to figure out the formula for that. So it just looks like it's easier for you to manually do it. Yeah, Wendy. So home office expenses. This is super awesome, you guys. So when you have a Lula room, you can deduct it from your taxes. Isn't that exciting? So this is really easy. What you'll do is you'll take the full square footage of your home. So my home is 1,335 square feet. And then you're going to put in the square footage that you use for your Lula room. So if your Lula room is 500 square feet, which I realize that's a really giant room, it will tell you the percentage of your home that is used specifically for LuLaRoe. So 37% of my home is my Lula room. And then what you'll do is every month you'll fill this out. So you'll put in what your mortgage interest is, your mortgage principal, how much you pay for home insurance, your taxes, your property taxes, your electrical, and then any other miscellaneous things like water or heat, if your heat is not electric based, anything like that. So if my mortgage is $25 in interest and my home is $600 in principal and I pay $15 in insurance and my taxes are $45. I'm literally just making this stuff up. And I pay $60 in electrical and I get an extra $35. It will tell you that, so out of $180, which you can use because it's not including your principal, $67.42 is deductible. That's awesome, you guys. And so you'll just do this for the whole year. And then up in here, this upper right-hand corner, it will give you the total for the year. This is awesome. You literally can deduct your Lula room. Okay. Okay, so we did that. Can I do this for base housing? Yeah, you can do it for base housing. Absolutely. Rent, same thing. Even if you don't own your home, just substitute mortgage for rent. So you pay $700 in rent. You pay $45 for rental insurance. You don't have any property taxes, so that can just be a zero. But you still pay electrical, so you pay $60 in electrical. And maybe you don't pay for your water, or so then you just put zero. If you own or you rent your home, you can use this. So then let's go to investments. So investments. This is where you'll start to notice things getting filled out for you. So if you filled in your basic information tab, which you absolutely should do, it will automatically enter in your initial inventory because that's your first purchase ever. And then what you can do is you can start adding in additional purchases. I'm sorry, that's my kiddo in the background. And then you'll start to see that you'll have a running tab of your purchases. So you'll know what your total number of items purchased is and what your total investment into your business is in terms of your inventory. So that's pretty self-explanatory as well. Bonus payments. This is for people like Nicole who get $15,000 checks from LuLaRoe for being amazing. And I know one day we will all be there. So pretty self-explanatory. You enter in the date of the check, the amount, it'll automatically give you a running total. So if we got a check on 6/4 for, we're really awesome like Nicole, so we made $15,000. It will then automatically put it over here and we'll get a running total of that. Bonus payments are important to take care of, or important to track because we also have to pay taxes on that. But it's also kind of nice just to see our bonuses versus just looking at our income. The other reason is when we track our payments. So, LuLaRoe, when they do the payments, everything goes through Audrey. And so we don't necessarily get the money in our bank account the same day we put it into Audrey. Obviously, it needs time to process. So it's important that we keep track of what date it went into Audrey and then what date we got paid. Because if there's a discrepancy, you want to be able to bring that to LuLaRoe and say, hey, on June 1st, it said I was going to get $700 from Wendy's awesome party. However, it is August 1st and that payment has never come through. So we'll just say on 4/15, Audrey told us we were going to be making $700 and now it's May 1st. And we just got a deposit into our bank. So we checked our bank account and we just got a deposit for $700. So we know that that everything matches up. And the fees have to do with Audrey. So Audrey will tell you that they charged you that 3.75%. So I don't really know what that is of $700, but we're just going to put $35.75. So we know the total number of credit card fees that we paid. Like I said, all of this will show the amount. This part will show the amount due and the date in LuLaRoe will show on Audrey and the fees will show on Audrey. So we can just copy that straight from Audrey. But then the date and the amount of deposit is what's going to come from our personal bank accounts. So it's important that we just verify that those things are matching, or we verify that they were supposed to send us $700 but they only sent us $450. Why are we missing $250? Hopefully that will never happen, but it's always better to cover your ass kind of a thing. Pardon my language. Payments. Okay, customer status. This, if anybody watches Kendra Pratt, she always cracks me up. She has the eyebrow that she gives you, and then she tells you that you're on the list. This is our list. So these are the customers who claimed an item but didn't fill out the Google form, or they fill out the Google form but then they didn't pay their invoice, or they return everything they buy from us. It's just a running list of who our bad Apple customers are, so you can because if you deal with 20, Ashley, for example, has 3,000 people in her group. If you are getting sales from 3,000 people, you're not going to remember everyone's name. So this is a good way for you to look back and be like, oh, Tasha Butler claimed another item again, and she never fills out the Google Doc. So I'm just not going to bother invoicing her. I'm just going to ban her from my group. JK Tasha, I'm sure you're amazing and you always fill out your Google Doc and pay your invoices. But this is just for you to have a list. And that's important, just because you don't want to waste your time with people who are not there to be serious and to support your business. All right, this is a price list. This is just a pretty graphic that has all the prices. There's literally nothing to this. This is probably the most pointless of all of the screens. It's just there. You can just do with whatever you want with it. So I'm going to go back. I'm not going to go to the month by month. I'm actually going to go backwards. And I'm going to go to the P&L balances, which I skipped earlier. P&L stands for profit and loss. So this is the profit and loss balance sheet. So we've been filling out all these numbers, right? We've been filling out all of our sales. We've been filling out our shipping costs. We've been filling out our home. So now this gives us our total yearly, how we're doing for the year. So this is my business. This is our total sales. I've sold $645 worth of items. I've got a $15,000 bonus check. There was $50 paid towards shipping. So that means my total revenue, the total amount of money I made before any deductions or expenses, was $15,695. And then we have our expenses. So our total cost of goods is $295. You'll remember the $295 came from our inventory. This is our total year in inventory. So we only have $295 in total year in inventory. Our in-home expenses, our supplies, our business expenses, our credit card fees, mileage, shipping charges, charitable donations. This tells us that our total expenditure was $942. So we had $15,000 come into our hands, and we spent $942. Our total profit or loss, we made a profit of $14,753. Our balance sheet, this is where you'll update your checking account balance. So this is something that you'll enter. So if we have, $4,500 in our checking account, you can put in how much, cash, liquid cash you have, and how much you have in your PayPal. So let's say I have $400 in my PayPal, and I have $200 in cash. This will let us know what our total assets are. So how much total money that we have. Liabilities. This is our liability is our investment. That's the type of money that we have to pay back. So we know that we have to pay back $5,000 because that was our investment, but our net income is $51.55. Down here, it kind of just gives you an overview. So we started on April 1st. We've today's date's 4/20. This 4/20 automatically fills out. It automatically updates. Pardon me. So we know that we've been in operation for less than a month. And our average monthly sales are $1,000. That's pretty cool. I like that feature just because it lets you know how much you make per month on average. On the left-hand side here, it shows your total inventory investment, your total sales, the total number of items you've purchased, the total number of items you sold, your prior year inventory. So when we go back to the basic information, we would fill this out. I'm sorry, I marked this purple, but this is actually supposed to be green. I lied to you. This is green. So this is where if you were operating in 2015, you would put what your value at the end of the year for all your inventory was and what your quantity at the end of the year was. And then you can compare your last year numbers to this year's numbers. And then initial investment earned back. This lets you know that you've earned, 12% of your investment back or whatever afterwards. does anybody have any questions about this spreadsheet? This one is kind of like the most overwhelming, I think, of all the spreadsheets, but it's also one of the more important spreadsheets. There's also a section here on the right for donations. If you tithe, so if you give to your church or whatever, and you want to be able to donate a certain percentage of your total sales or of your total profits, you can just put that information in here. So that way it tells you how much to donate. So if your church asks that you donate 5% of your total profits, then you can just put in 5% here, and it will let you know how much you should be donating. Alright, so then we're going to skip all the way over to the right, and we're going to start to go the months. So we'll start in January. All the months are the exact same. They have 5 weeks from left to right. This is where you're going to put in how much of each item you sold every week. So we sold 3 maxis. Oh, dang it! You'd think that this would have fixed it. You sold 3 maxis, you sold 2 Cassies. Obviously, these are all made up numbers. It will tell you how much in wholesale you sold, how much in retail you sold, how much total profit you made in dollar amount, and how much total profit and percentage you made. And then if we scroll down to the bottom, it has an area for shipping as well. And so you would just fill out how much shipping you did wholesale and retail. I don't know what the heck is going on, Casey. This is the one that I use in my car, just so I can have a GPS. And I never had this issue before where it constantly is falling down. Anyway, so once you fill out every week, going forward, you'll see over here in the right, no you won't because I'm not showing in that direction. You'll see over here in the right hand column your totals for January. I know that we had talked about that earlier. Anyways, we talked about it earlier. I don't remember. I've been talking for a long time. This tab is called, this is by the month. So literally we're in tab January. So this will be your monthly overview for January. And then if we scroll over, you'll see there's one for every single month of the year. February, March, all the way through December. So on the right hand side here, you'll get your totals for January. And then you'll want to put in your fees. So these are your credit card fees. And then your actual income. So this is how much money you actually made for the month of January. So if you give away an item, like we gave away a Cassie, in week 5 of January, which I realize normally there isn't 5 weeks, we'll want to put in, even though we gave away that Cassie, we don't make money off of that Cassie. So it's not actual income. So whatever your income is, it won't include the Cassie. But you need to be able to put that in there so you know what your discounts were. This is a totally made up number, but actually that might have been pretty good. Discount's $35. I think I actually did that right, you guys. I don't know how I did that. But yeah, so that kind of shows you how that works out. So it gives you your actual profit amount, your profit margin, and your total number of items sold only for that month. So this gives you a nice month-to-month overview. Again, these are things that you have to manually enter. So maybe some of these aren't useful for you. Maybe you don't care what your month-to-month was and you only want to fill out your sales. That's okay. That's up to you. You don't have to use every one of these sheets. It just gives you a nice overview of your entire business and it breaks it down however you want. If you go over to the spreadsheet, the tab that is right before the months, it says profit and loss balance sheet weekly. This is just like that profit and balance loss sheet that we saw before, except for this is the one that's broken down by weeks. So you can see in January, if we're all the way through April, you can see what those numbers look like through April. that is really the whole spreadsheet, you guys. There's just a couple things that I wanted to go over with you real fast before I let you go. First is how to hide and unhide. So some of you guys were having issues because you couldn't see the mileage tab before. That is because I hid it, because I didn't personally want to use the mileage tab. To do that, you're just going to right click the tab, whichever tab that you want to get rid of, and you're going to see here it says hide sheet. This is true for both Excel and Google Sheets. You'll just click hide sheet and it goes away, it disappears. If you want it to come back, you go to all sheets. See, there's no, you can't see, and my phone is about to fall again. I don't know what its problem is. Blame the heat. We're gonna go with this because it's hot. So you go to all sheets, and then there is you'll just click on it. Where is it? This one, and then it comes back up. In Excel, you right click and you hit unhide. That's all you do. So you can hide the ones you don't want, so that way you don't have to see them without deleting them, just in case you want it later. Updating styles and prices. When you, I know I kind of talked about this at the beginning, but it's really important. So if LuLaRoe at convention introduces a new style, you want to be able to sell that new style, right? You don't want to just not have it in your inventory, because that's not fun. So there is extra spaces here for more styles. So literally what you will do is you will enter in the style. So if they have a style, we're going to name it the Marissa, because I deserve my own style. You'll put it in here, put whatever the retail is. So the Marissa is $45, and then we're going to copy this formula. So whatever the wholesale is, so the Marissa costs $17. Press enter. So we'll see the wholesale times 0.95. That's the Marissa's wholesale with our discount at $16.15. Clearly the Marissa's going to make you a lot of profit. And then what you can do is over in the party manager, you'll have to enter the Marissa. This is going to be your new style for you guys, the Marissa. And this is the one that I deleted. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to put in the Marissa. You'll notice that nothing here is happening. That's because we have to connect the dots. So what I'm going to do is, because it's late and I've been on here forever, is I'm not really going to go over that with you guys right now, but you'll notice that it doesn't do anything. That's because we need to connect the items together. So later on when we get a new style, what I'll do is I'll do another video for you guys and show you how to connect the style. So that way, no matter what tab you're in, you can see the updated information for the new styles. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I know it was a lot of information. I appreciate the people that stuck it out the whole time. Like I said, this is going to be in our group, so you can view my phone falling 7,000 times, as many times as you want. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me or email me. My email is LuLaRoe@gmail.com. You can feel free to email me. If we get to the point where we have a new style, and you were just like, man, I don't understand what I'm doing, yeah, this is always going to be here, Tasha. You can always look at it or download it. But if you get to the point where you're like, man, I really need this new style updated, just PM me and we'll figure it out together. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close out. And like I said, you'll always be able to see this video too. And I'll keep this link up so you can always see the spreadsheet. And every time I update it, you'll be able to go in and get a new version of it too, because I'll keep it updated for you guys. All right.